And we are live. Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Abel Perez.
I'm Stephanie Perez.
And we are the
Married Loan Officers.
That's right. And we are here another beautiful week, getting closer to Christmas.
We are getting closer to Christmas. I have a lot of things still in my shopping cart, but, we'll get there.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to keep them in the shopping cart this year. I'm always like, I'm the type of person. I think you know me already.
I think I know you.
I don't want. I'm like, oh, if it's in the shopping cart, it's like, oh my God, that's potential money we're about to spend. Don't buy it. We don't need it, right? And then Christmas comes and you're like, I'm like, what'd you get me? And you're like,
you told me not to buy you anything.
It's in the Christmas cart or it's in the shopping cart, right?
Yeah,
so
it's on layaway.
I think I kind of learned like, all right, well, just don't say anything about the shopping cart. Just let it be. Just let it be.
Let it be.
Anyway, Steph, what are we talking about today?
We are talking about the power of social media when it comes to marketing, especially the way that, people in our industry use it, utilize it, and get creative and content creators and all that stuff. And then a little bit later, we'll get into credit. And whether you're a realtor or a lender or a consumer, what happens when your credit is run and it being sold to other, creditors and kind of,
Yeah, for sure.
That's
going to be very useful. So like Stephanie mentioned, if you are a realtor or a lender, you're certainly going to want to know this information so you can protect your clientele, warn them. And when I say protect the clientele, it's more about just preserving your client, right? Because you're going to learn about how all the hounds come out and they're trying to take your clients, right? But let's dive into the social media aspect. Now, Steph, obviously, we are newbie content creators.
Oh, yeah.
And so
I made my first reel the other day. I was so excited. It was super basic, but I was like, I did that.
Yeah, it was very basic. It was like selfie style. Christmas tree in the background.
I was next to the Christmas tree. I thought it was cute. I just went with it. Whatever I posted.
It wasn't too bad. I'll give you some credit for the effort there. Yeah, for sure. So, social media is and will continue to be just a powerhouse when it comes to marketing. And you can literally market anything, right? Any, celebrities are using it to build their brands. Musicians are using it to, increase their influence and, putting snippets of their upcoming albums. And so it's a proven fact that if you leverage social media, you're going to have a level of success, right? But it depends on how you execute, right? And we're learning very quickly that it's very difficult to put a video out there and get thousands of views or likes, right? Yeah. I get excited when we get, 10 or 15 likes and there's some people that have 700,000 likes in just one post. But I think that's kind of the reality for most people, right?
Yeah.
Especially here in our industry, we're not the selling Sunset stars. We're not the selling Beverly Hills stars. So our influence is a little bit smaller, but that's okay, right? Yeah. Because the people that we are trying to influence are the individuals that could potentially be clients, right?
Yeah.
And so what I like and enjoy about social media is it's not just let me go out there and post how I feel today or what I'm doing today, right?
It's not. No.
No. And so, yeah, if you're doing that, you're probably not doing too well. But,
oh, no.
But there is some really creative stuff out there. And the proof is easy. You can open up your phone, you go on TikTok or Instagram or something, you look into the reels and literally you're just laughing and you're stuck in there, right?
Creative.
And you're like, the internet always wins. How do people constantly come up with this content?
But I think what we learned, and especially we had a little powwow yesterday talking about, how to up our social media game and stuff like that. But I think what we learned is it is not as easy as people make it look.
Right.
There is a whole, they say there's like an algorithm and stuff like that, but there's like a whole strategy behind, every content creator's stuff. And I think for us, what we figured out most importantly was like consistency, right?
Yeah,
consistency is key.
I think, it is a science, and you mentioned the algorithms, right? And the algorithms are, to me, I look at the algorithm as just your analytics, right? So if you're a sports person, you look at the analytics, right? You see all the stats from the games, and that's how you determine, okay, which players are most effective in different situations. If you're a business, you're looking at your P&L and you're determining, okay, what products are selling, what's driving profitability, all of that stuff, right? Social media has all of that as well, which is really neat, right? So if you're a numbers person or you're somebody who has always been analytical and likes to strategize, these social platforms are providing those analytics, and literally they're called analytics, where you can click in and see, who's liking your stuff. Not exactly who's liking it, but how many people are liking it. The people who are seeing it, are they, swiping forward? Are they going back to watch it another time? Are they going to your page after they watch it? Really helping you dictate what people enjoy seeing, right? What are people gravitating towards on your page in relation to what your target is? Yeah. And then you can continue to cater and navigate through that. So certainly something that we're still trying to learn. And I think, we've only been doing this 3 weeks now. And so we have 3 weeks worth of samples, but all of the big like podcasters and social, creators, they all say the same thing. It's like a couple years of just consistency, right? Yeah. You have to have consistent posts out there so that you can continue to get these analytics. But when you start seeing and being able to assess months worth of data, your effectiveness on, the type of content, targeting those people that you're really trying to engage, it increases a whole lot more, right? Yeah. And I'm such a nerd because I love analytics. When I see, think, and talk about that, it really just kind of gets me excited. Gets me excited, right?
So I have a question for you, Abel.
Yeah, sure.
What would you? Is there any advice that you would give to people just coming into promoting themselves on social media in our industry?
Yeah, for sure. I think if you're not on social media, you need to be on social media. Because the people that you work with. So if you're in the industry, that you're a lender, your realtor friends or your realtor partners who are potentially going to be the people you're relying on for referrals, they're going to be on social media. They want to see you there as well. Now, if you're incoming as a realtor, the other realtors are on social media. They're going to want to see you as well, right? Because social media, it creates this personas, right? And we always put the good stuff, of course, on social media. You never have a bad day and say, oh, I'm going to post my really bad hair day on social media, right? Although I kind of did that the other day. But anyway, so where I'm going with this is, where was I going with this? So people, this is the benefit of recording live, right? Like sometimes you kind of get lost, and I started thinking about bad hair day again, right?
You were so stuck on that. Get over it.
It was very influential.
Wasn't your
on me,
first
right?
bad hair day for the record?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I had one today as well. No. So back to the social media, right? So if you are an incoming realtor, what I was going to say is other realtors that you could potentially be working with, submitting offers to, everything like that, they're also going to be on social media, right? So they're watching. So they want to know that you're engaged. They want to know that you're active, right? Yeah. And we talk about only posting the good stuff. Well, typically people are posting when they're active. People are posting when they're busy, right? So if you're like kind of a hermit crab on social media and you're just like, hiding out on your own, people are going to have the assumption that you're not busy, you're not active, this isn't what you're doing, this isn't what you do for a living. And so if you're a realtor and you're submitting offers, the realtor on the receiving end may not know who you are. And if you don't have a social media presence, they may not have the confidence that they might earn in somebody else based off of that online persona that you're portraying, right? Yeah. Well, this person's not very busy, I don't see them very active, they may not take their job very serious, right? That might sound silly, and there might be plenty of like old school people that say that's malarkey, right? That's not how the business is done. Well, guess what? Generations, we're kind of new generations are coming, and this is the new norm. And
how have you seen it? So you came to the industry 5 years ago. How have you seen it change over the last 5 years?
Yeah, so. Social media has been around over the last 5 years, but I think what's happening now is social media is becoming more creative. People are learning about those algorithms. People are realizing that it takes more than just the old selfie. When I first started, I used to go to open houses, pull out my phone, selfie mode, and just go live with this super pixelated, video. And I would be like, hey, what's up, everyone? It's your favorite loan officer, Abel Perez. I'm standing outside of blah, 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 blah. Come visit us. And people would be like, whoa, that's cool. I see you on social media. And that was social media back then. Now you do that and very little attention, right? Because people are so creative. People are whipping out the DSLR cameras. They're pulling out the 360 cameras. They're
using drone footage.
Footage. They're adding, they got the angles, right? The good angles. This was the good angle back in the day, right? From up here, but now you got all the cool stuff with the drones and stuff like you mentioned, adding music to it. There's all types of different effects. And that's where I start seeing a lot of people who are just naturally creative and they just have that like that art ability in them to really start to flourish, right? Because it's like, man, you're pretty good at that stuff, right? Whereas like me, I like to try those things, but I'm very into like I have to see it. I'll take ideas and then I'll apply it.
See it.
Yeah. So it's grown tremendously over the last 5 years. Certainly has really established itself as one of the most reliable sources of marketing. And I think probably the reason for that and why so many people gravitate towards that is because it's free, right? You don't have to pay, $500 to $3,000 a month for a billboard on the side of the freeway where you're only going to catch the people driving, right?
Yeah.
You're literally catching all of your friends and family every single day whenever you decide to post, and you can change that message twice a day, every single day, once a week, whenever you have time to update that content, right?
Yeah.
And then you think of something or some big news flashes out, boom, you can hit them on social media real quick, and you can get that message out. So just the accessibility that it provides to individuals, to other individuals, is just powerful in general. So yeah, that's social media.
That's so
I'm out of breath.
Still trying to figure it out
because it's such a big beast.
We're still learning. We're still trying to figure it out. You know what else is a beast? Let's use that as a transition. People calling you 25,000 times a day to solicit to you.
For what? I'm just kidding.
I was like, what?
Yeah, so
I don't know. I hardly ever answer.
Solicitation, right?
Yeah.
Especially during this time of year, during the holidays, you get bombarded, right? Bombarded by random calls and people trying to sell you on whatever it is that they have, right? End of year, people trying to meet their numbers, or they have their new goals coming for the 2023, and they're like, all right, I got to get ahead. I'm going to start doing my cold calling, all of that stuff, right? But the people who get affected most by and most bombarded by other companies are individuals who have their credit ran, right? And I really want to, really hope that you stuck around or you come to watch this show for this segment. I'll clip it out and post it on there because if you are a consumer, right, an individual who's applying for credit, your information is sold by the credit bureaus to other creditors, right? People, and those creditors are banks. Banks are paying money for information on people who have their credit ran, right? And it's not just in the mortgage industry, it's in the auto industry, it's in the merchant service industry, right? Anybody who's applying, if you go and you apply for like a Capital One credit card, and that means you're looking for a good credit card, right? So you go and you have your credit ran. Well, just like Credit Karma and all of these other credit monitoring applications, just like they receive the information that you had your credit ran, so will these banks who have paid for that information, other credit card companies, and they now they have your name, and it's this person is inquiring, right? And if you ever had your credit ran with your phone number, email address, or phone number or email address, you can expect to be contacted through because now that information is public. So you could expect to be contacted by these other companies saying, "Hey, I heard you're looking for," it's more going to be like, "Hey, this is, Joe from such and such bank, and we have the perfect credit card for your needs," right? And you're thinking, "Man, how did they know? Are they listening to me on my phone?" No, well, they're tracking you, right?
Yeah.
And so in the mortgage industry, obviously we see it all the time. That happens to our clients, right? And it's very important if you're a realtor or a lender that you know that this is going to happen to your clients, right? The credit bureaus will leak that information out. And so I've literally had clients who are looking to buy a home, and the next day they say, "Hey man, like I'm getting like lit up, text messages, phone calls, everything like that." And when you include that ability to do that in an environment like today, where banks are, application counts are down, banks are, really hungry for business. They're going to do everything they can and pull all of these type of resources, utilize those resources to increase their customer contact, target their cold calling in a more strategic way. This makes sense for them, right? They're going to do it. Mm-hmm. But what does that mean for our realtor and lender friends out there? It means that your clients, as soon as they complete that application, are going to start getting solicited to, right? Banks are going to start reaching out to them, and banks have alliances with other brokerages, or they may have other alliances with other brokerages. So more than ever, it's important that we ramp up that communication. We set the expectation to our clients that this is going to happen. We let them know that that's all junk mail, right? Don't entertain any of what they're, all of the bait and switch type promotions that they're throwing out there. Ignore those calls, but ramp up the communication and make sure you're following up, because if you let a day or two go by, literally 50 or 75 other people are probably contacting them or attempting to contact them within that time. Mm-hmm. So when we talk about, client retention, right? And, sometimes these leads come, where they're somewhat, we're not too familiar with the people, or, we just met them. We haven't really had enough time to establish a solid relationship with them. Mm-hmm. And so if you're not following up with them, you're not staying on top of them, all of a sudden somebody else is, just calling them at that right time, that time of frustration, the time where they feel that they've been abandoned. Yeah, you know what? Let me answer your questions. Oh, okay, let's move forward. Boom, you just lost your deal, right? Yeah. Now, if you're a consumer, just be aware of that. Be aware that it is typical. It is normal. It's not the bank that you're working with selling this information to people. It's coming from much higher, the credit bureau. So really out of our control. What can you do to kind of prevent that? Of course, you can certainly put yourself on the do not call list, right? Which is a registry that prevents random people from being able to call you. Typically, the individuals that do call you, it will be the same bank 3 or 4 times and for a couple weeks consistently, right? And so you can say, "Please add me to your do not call list." If you request that, they're obligated by law to add you to that, and you'll stop getting calls from that company, and that could reduce that traffic greatly, right? Mm-hmm. So it is frustrating, it is annoying, and I oftentimes I've made it best practice for myself to just really explain that to all of my clients up front at the start of the application, because your clients may feel like you're doing this to them. Wow, I gave you my information and now it's being leaked out, and now all of a sudden all these people are calling me, right? What did you do with my contact info, right? And so again, it's not like we left it out on the curb and some random marketing guy picked it up and sold it out. It's literally built through the credit bureau. So yeah, thank you for bringing that up, because I am passionate about that, because it is annoying. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
So cool. Well, that was kind of a mouthful today. We talked about the social media buzz. So you gave some experience, or you gave a little bit of insight on your selfies, or your little video promoting the show. What can we expect moving forward from you? You got anything planned?
Yeah, I'm gonna get on YouTube and practice how to put together reels.
Yeah, it is a real. That is a real thing. No pun intended. Yeah, no. It took me a long time to figure out how to clip certain parts with certain music and have words come in, like all that little
part
stuff.
of me just wants to ask one of my, teenage cousins, like, hey, can you do this for me? And I'll give you a couple bucks.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
it's pretty frustrating.
It seems like it comes natural, like almost like when you go to kindergarten, like that's the first thing they cover. It's like, we're going to learn ABCs and then how to make a reel.
How to stitch reels.
Yeah, because these young kids are getting pretty good at that stuff. So anyway, well, honey, thank you for joining me today. Oh, I guess, I don't know if I joined you or you joined me. I guess we got here at the same time. So, but anyway, I think it was a good show. And if you guys have any comments or have any questions, please reach out to us. Stephanie's a social media expert, so she can help you out through that. And social media expert in the making. Yeah, for sure. So learn with us, and there's quite a bit that we've started to implement into our social media marketing. So if you have any questions or you'd like to know how we're doing something that you are gravitating towards, let us know and we'd be happy to help. Of course, mortgage financing is our thing. If you or anybody could benefit from the mortgage financing that we provide, please reach out to me. I'm Senior Mortgage Loan Officer Abel Perez, and I'm going to throw up my card right here so that I'm in compliance, and my NMLS number and contact information is all there. And of course, how to reach me. But anyway, that's it for today's show. All right. Yeah. Let's have a good rest of our day. Yeah. Our son has a basketball game, so excited about that. Good luck to him. Hey, thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, share.